Alrighty, welcome back to Mildly Interesting, where perhaps you'll be mildly interested in the new windsock pop filter I just got from my microphone. We're really raising things to a professional level of quality here. It's almost like I'm starting to do this for a living or something. Crazy. P's and F's should be much more tolerable now. Also, maybe you'll be mildly interested in our sponsor for the week, me, with the Re-Rack Your Weights water bottle. Available now for a limited time only at represent.com/store/Captain Sparkles for you to drink your water out of. Pretty cool link in the description. Anyway, let's start off with number 19. These winter boots have a flip-down ice cleat in the heel to help with walking on icy surfaces. Seems useful. I don't know if it's mildly interesting so much as mildly utilitarian and useful if you're selling these in a snowy environment. I can't imagine they're the only ones who've done this, unless they have a patent and maybe they're the only ones allowed to do it. The soup I made has the exact same color as my bowl. No kidding. It does. I hope that you have the recipe with the exact proportions all written down. Really what's happening here is the soup is trying to disguise itself. It's defensive state right here, dude. It's trying to have you not notice it, so you'd be like, huh, I thought I made soup. I don't know where it went. All right, I guess we'll just put the cup back in the cupboard, and then the soup will live to fight another day. All right, soup has grown sentient. It does not want to end up in your stomach, and this is the first, line of evolution that it's achieved. It's very impressive stuff here. My maths lecturer wearing an infinite tie version of himself. What probably happens is that every year at whatever this party is, he gets another photo taken, and then he applies that to a new tie. There's some similar things here that happen on Reddit. I can't remember what celebrity it is, but there's been like one dude who every single year, like one year he meets such and such celebrity, has a photo taken, he gets it printed on a t-shirt. The next year he wears that t-shirt to the same event where the celebrity is there again. They take another photo. That photo then gets put on the t-shirt, and it happens year after year. And I forget how many years it was at when I last saw it, but it was like 5 or 6 years deep. And it looks like the same thing is going on here. I hope that's what it is that at this same event every year, he takes another layer. God, I should do something like that. But what event am I at every year that would make sense for me to add another level to my t-shirt or my tie or something? God. Also I don't know, it'd be as cool if it's just like me. It has to be me with somebody else who's like an unsuspecting victim of the whole thing. Leave your thoughts in the comments. My school has a Tupac quote in the hallway. They got money for wars, but can't feed the poor. Tupac Shakur, 1971 to 1996. I actually have never gone and listened to a Tupac song, interestingly enough. I'm sure that I've heard it and I've not actually realized that it was him, but it's strange for how famous he is / was. I don't think I could name a song of his. If I looked up Tupac on YouTube and looked through the results, I'm sure I'd be like, oh, that was him. Okay, no, I get it now, but off the top of my head, I wouldn't know. And I feel so disconnected. Or is it just that I'm too young? Because obviously I was born in 92. And so I kind of missed the whole rap scene, from until I was 4 years old. So I kind of missed that era. And yeah. But I mean, it seems like an applicable quote for forever. We'll just not get into too much detail because we don't want to get too political up in here. But anywho, that's a thing. My dad has a 100-sided die. Is it difficult to identify which number is actually the one that it landed on there? Or is it pretty, I guess in this case it would have landed on 100. I guess it's easy enough to tell which side is up. I wonder if it's someone who just like took a ball and they're like, what if I just shaved a bunch of notches off here, dude? I could make it a really, really high-sided die. Wouldn't that be super duper cool? Or is it a machine that did this? I don't know. I guess if you wanted it to be perfect, it would probably have to be a machine. Like what shape perfectly creates a 100-sided die? Because like for every amount of sides you could have on a die, there is a shape that perfectly tiles itself, right? So what would it be? And what would it be called? for 100-sided so that it perfectly tiles itself. Like, I don't know. That'd be interesting to find. That'd be mildly interesting. What's the name of that shape? I'm sure these just kind of look like circles here. It's not perfect, but it'd be for like a computer simulated one. I don't know. My key card is like a cute baby next to the cutting board. What? I mean, this, this, even this would have been like too innocuous for me to ever look at and be like, yeah, this could work on mildly interesting. I just don't think any part of me would have ever realized that this would resonate with 69,000 people, over 69,000 people who would upvote it on Reddit. I would have just been like, I don't even think I would have noticed it. It's been like, oh, look, it's like a key card and it's cutting board, but I wouldn't picture two together. So much karma on the internet. Have you ever used your key card as a cutting board? And have you ever used your cutting board in an effort to gain access to something? This toilet lock that doubles as a tray, so you can't leave without taking your stuff. Now that is a good idea. Now, fortunately, I have never actually left anything in a public restroom, thank goodness, but I'm sure it's happened before, although I've never actually run into anything valuable that was left in a public restroom. Usually it's just poop that's left, and that wouldn't go on the accessories tray. God, I hope not. That would really ruin the accessories tray for everybody else. But yeah, if your stuff is gonna fall on the ground, and then I guess you could forget it in the immediate moments after it hits the ground, and then you're like, I don't want to pick that up. Too many people have been in this airport. Also, too many people have probably used this accessories tray. I don't want to put my sunglasses on it and then put those on my face. These are the thoughts that would be going through my head, because I'm a germaphobe, and especially after having that staph infection, I am even more of a germaphobe who is terrified of any open cut ever. And it's bad. It's all bad now. I'm paranoid of everything in my life. Thank you, staph infection. My local laundromat is also a bar. That's the most bizarre but also logical crossover that I think I have ever seen in my life. This is a first. I have never seen the laundromat bar crossover, and here we are. It's a good idea. If you get a liquor license and you can sell alcohol, it's just a license to print money. So I don't care what other front you're running. If it's a laundromat or if it's a bookstore or whatever the heck it is, if you can sell alcohol along with it, you're gonna just make a lot more money because you can mark up the prices dramatically. And while you're there waiting for your laundry, what better do you have to do? It's a freaking genius idea, my goodness. But also, I bet the reason why most people don't have this is because getting a liquor license is a pain in the ass to do, especially if you're attaching it to a business that didn't have one previously. You have to get a new one, and it's a pain. This old bowling alley converted into a Target. The red balls are bowling balls. I see that they're bowling balls. They could also be red coconuts. That's pretty interesting, though, that Target really stuck with the theme of the bowling alley there. You gotta like it when a big company comes in and they keep some of the quaint nuances of what was previously at that location. I bet that this sign style was there before, and then they were just like, we can repurpose it and have it say Target. And that's pretty nifty. I don't know if Target's not a franchise, right? It's just fully owned by the corporation, all the stores. So it's man, they had to get corporate approval on that. That's pretty cool, dude. This bird that looks like Danny DeVito, quality posts. Every now and again it gets trapped inside of a couch and has to squeeze its way out. I mean, you could kind of say that if we're going off of the defining feature being the hair at the back, there might be other things in nature that also look like Danny DeVito. I wonder what those could be. You had a rock that just happened to have a little formation at the back. It looks like that. Or a moss growing out of a rock with just the right shape and poofiness. That rock could look like Danny DeVito too. Just imagining being out in public and being like, hold on a minute, look at that bird. It looks like Danny DeVito. Don't go anywhere, bird. I gotta whip my phone out so I can post you on Mildly Interesting. This is important. This building has cartoon windows. That would actually really trip me out if I saw it in person. I'd do a double take. Are there a screen? Wait, what? Is that a whole thing of a screen? Or did they just cell shade the windows individually? This is bizarre. What the heck? You turned your building into an illustration. Are they actual? They are actual windows. You can see a light on the inside. Do they just have like a film over them? I mean, what you've done here is you've made the windows less windowy. They just don't have as much of a view outside. But I guess if all you're looking at is another brick building across the street, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, if those are apartments, like, pretty. Hey, I live in the cartoon building. Everyone would be like, oh, I know which one that is. Cool. I'll see you there. I'll meet you there. Overlapping circles on a bus window ad. Is that like I wonder if that's a window like that you slid over or something like that, and therefore they overlap, because that would actually be really cool, I bet. If those were two separate pieces of glass that you would slide over each other, oh, you get some freaking psychedelic overlapping circle designs, and then you could like motion track so that it stays on one of the circles, and then it would just look like the static but like crazy kaleidoscope of craziness and stuff like this. I'm sure you could also recreate this in Photoshop if you just had a couple of layers that were transparent with this, and you could just drag one over the other and you could do some gnarliness with it. I'll leave it for you to experiment. The logo on my umbrella only shows up when wet. Oh, dude, it's got like little bits of hydrophobic and hydrophilic, and then so the water accumulates on the hydrophilic, but then the rest of the umbrella is hydrophobic, and so that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart right there, dude. And so you'll see the water running, and it would be like dynamically kind of flowing through the logo-y shapes. You could actually do a lot of cool designs on umbrellas by comboing the hydrophobic, hydrophilic, different materials with each other. That's a good idea, though. That's a pretty cool idea. The problem is on the top of the umbrella. So like in the rain, I guess, once you actually bring it down, you enter whatever building you're entering, and then people would see like, whoa, what's the residue? Oh, it's the freaking penguin logo. That's pretty cool. Where'd you get that? It's good advertising. I got a 40-year pocket calendar that works until 2057. Wait. No, that's not the same. I actually got gifted one of those a long time ago, but I'm sure it's still valid. I just don't know where I put it. But yeah, these are things that you can buy in places. God, if only I still knew where it was. I should have just kept it on my desk like a normal person with a calendar, so you can't put notes in this one as to what you got to do on what day. But yeah, these exist all over the place. They're not like super uncommon or anything like that. Can't remember exactly how they work, but pretty fancy, while also apparently being simple enough that a lot of companies can make them. Dang, I should have posted a picture on Reddit. So many missed opportunities for karma. I have no idea where mine is, though, at all. This cracked glass viewing window at the zoo. Uh-oh. Yes, the glass is cracked, but it's still strong enough to withstand the strength of our bears. 2 inches thick and several hundred pounds. This glass is made of several layers and is designed to splinter, not shatter. We'll be replacing it soon. Okay. Cool. But that's still a little bit unsettling. It's like, don't worry, it's fine. The bear only shattered the glass, but there's no way it could shatter it further. I'm sure that their explanation is correct, but it doesn't inspire much confidence for me to be standing there. God, can you imagine if that happened when the zoo was open and there were people standing in front of it? Whatever the heck the bear did to shatter the glass, I would be out of there so quickly. Be like, okay, this is pretty cool, but I'm leaving now. Nope, don't want to see if the bear has the ability to go through the rest of that stuff. I'm good. Those are some famous last words in some kind of sci-fi movie right there, okay? Like, no, the glass is designed to do this. It couldn't possibly get through, other scientists. We're totally fine here. The scientifically, genetically modified thing on the other side. No, it's not strong. This glass is pretty strong. Wham! And the guy saying how safe it is gets ripped on in, and then that's the start, and then whatever escapes, and then that's how the whole movie plays out. In my country, the cereal can't have cartoons in the boxes. What country is this? I wonder. It's just like, what's the reasoning for that? It's draws your eyes in to something that's other than the product. The focus has to be on the product itself, okay? We have to allow you to fixate on the quality of the product, on the image, on the box, so that you're not just drawn in by this toucan Sam fellow up here, okay, with his hypnotizing eyes and beak, causing you to think that you want it, when if you just paid closer attention to the cereal itself, you'd be like, no, I would prefer my Zucaritas over my Fruit Loops, okay? This is, the advertising is drawing me in too powerful a fashion. We can't have this. My school has racks in the front office for kids to put their skateboards on during the day. I'd be worried about my board being stolen, but I guess maybe that's just me. As long as whoever is in there kind of knows which board belongs to which kid, but I don't know. Man, back in my elementary school, you just got your skateboards taken away. It actually happened once. Skated into the parking lot, and because we entered the parking lot before we picked up our boards and walked into school, the custodian flipped the hell out, took the boards away from us, threw them in a closet, and then one of the other kids I skated to school with, his parents, they got real upset at me, and he was no longer allowed to associate with me, and it was like, bro, we were in the parking lot. What's going on here? It's not that big of a deal. Like, what the hell, dude? Anyway, it's a wild time, dude. My rotting Goomba pumpkin looks more like Goomba now than it did when it was freshly carved. That looks disgusting. You should jump on it like Mario would do to a Goomba, and you should see what it looks like after you do that. It's just an explosion of black mold all over the... Ugh, why is it still on your porch, dude? That's gross. Imagine your mailman coming every day, just seeing the evolution of your rotting Goomba, being like, when is he gonna get rid of that thing? I'm probably inhaling toxins by walking by it every day. And the top for the last month, giant puffball mushroom my sister found in the woods. That just looks like a block of styrofoam, to be honest with you. That's crazy. Yeah, there's no way I'd look at that if I saw it in the wild and be like, better take it home and eat it. Just the origins of people figuring out what they can eat, it is a mystery to me. I'm sure logically a lot of it comes from seeing another animal eat the thing, but for anything that you don't see other animals eating, it's just like, let's try this. Might as well. And it's like, shoot, Bob unalived over there. I guess we shouldn't eat that again. Anyway, gotta wonder what that tastes like. I want to feel the texture. I want to hold that gigantic thing. Must just be like really light and airy or something. It just looks like styrofoam though. That's cool. Anyway, that's it for the last month of Mildly Interesting. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like if you liked. Check out the playlist if you want to be more mildly interested. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And represent.com/store/Captain Sparkles for your weight re-racking water bottles. You know, pretty cool stuff. Good times. Link in the description. See you next time.